Hello, friends. This is Catherine at Manifest Faster Tarot, and I am doing another practice reading. And you can see already from last time's practice reading that I tried to improve my environment a little bit and create a little bit more beauty because I'm just falling in love with the magic that happens when we let art come into our lives and touch us, because art can reach deeply underneath the intellect, and that can really facilitate understanding. And when I think about the stained glass windows in churches over antiquity and how many people who were impoverished at the time were able to be inspired and encouraged by the art and how the sun would shine through those windows. I got to be in Rome one time, and it was so wonderful. We were at a church that had a hole in one of the stained glass windows. There was a hole that only at Christmas Day would a beam of light shine through that hole onto a statue across the church. And I remember being there thinking, how in the world did they do that? Because the church was built way before they had any technology at all. So when it comes to understanding why things work and why things don't, people have been studying that forever. And so that's what I'm here for, because I have met the most wonderful people over time, men and women both, who have been single for years and years. And no matter how hard they try and how many books they read or how many times they tap or how many cards are drawn, they just can't seem to find the answer. The answer's not, where is he or she? The answer is, the answer can't be given without the question being asked. And the question that we need more than anything is, what do we really, really want? When it comes to a partner, what is it that you are looking for exactly? Okay, so I'm on a mission to continue to explore that with the many people that I get to talk to. But for tonight, what I wanted to practice on was drawing a few cards that talk about the heartbreak part of it, because breakup recovery is an important part of manifesting. A lot of the pain, in fact, it's raining tonight. I don't know if you can hear that. Rare in the desert, but a lot of the pain that comes in your manifesting is because of the heartbreaks in the past, the disappointments, the people that have let you down. Not only partners, but even people at work and even people in your family. I mean, by the time you get to be midlife, 40s, 50s, whatever midlife means to you, things can get very complicated when it comes to trusting your heart with someone. So tonight I wanted to just do a practice reading with these new cards that I have called the Sacred Rebel deck, which I adore. And I'm going to pull 3 cards from there and get some inspiration for those of us who have had heartbreaks in love. As some of you know, on Christmas Day, somebody from my past reached back to me, and I was totally surprised. And my response was to completely do nothing, to let it fall as if it were of zero value. And that to me was a victory, considering the drama of that past relationship. But how odd that it came on Christmas Day, right? So right now, I'm still feeling like, what can we do to allow the divine to show us anything we need to know about releasing love from the past and letting ourselves move forward into something new. So I'm going to draw 3 cards, and then I'll clarify with some tarot. So we have Diving for Light. Love it. And we have Release the Dark Wound and Let Love Win. Or excuse me, Let Love Live. Oh man, I've not used this deck before in a reading, and I'm having goosebumps. And the last one, What is Already With You. So as I look at these beautiful cards and just bring them closer so that you can see them with me. Oh, so you can see them with me. That it is true that we are diving for light, because the very best part of our personality, the lightest part of us, the most playful, the most engaging, the warmest, the most affectionate, that part of us that is our true self, is so often hiding under all of the experiences we've had so far. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that disappointments stack up on each other. And in here, when I look at the art where it's release the dark wound and let love live, and you think about letting a fish go, the fish is captured, it's caught, and then you let it go. You unhook it and let it dive back into the lake. I have done that personally myself, and it is so gratifying to watch that fish swim away. But when the fish re-enters, look at the waves, look at the ripples that are going forth. There is something so valuable about taking a peek at the darker side of our personalities. There's nothing wrong with it. It's totally normal. We have parts of our personality that we would rather hide, but if you're really wanting to have a partner, you don't want to be hiding that anymore. Otherwise, it'll leak out, and it'll cause somebody to look at you with that look, like, what the hell is wrong with you, right? So anyway, when we look at the last card here, which is what is already with you, and so much of what we know to be true is that we are everything that we need to be. If you're over 25, you've had enough life experience to be able to pick what you want. And what is already with you, your heart's desire, what is at the bottom of that well that you're digging into, when it comes to your next love, what is it that you truly desire? So let's lay the cards here, and let's just draw a couple of our tarot cards for clarity, okay? As we get ready to be looking at this, if for some reason this doesn't resonate with you because you have gotten over your last loves, I am delighted for you. I mean it. But I do want you to consider that intellectually you can let go completely. Intellectually, you can talk to yourself logically. The person is gone, and even if things were tough, they are no longer part of your life, and that you are completely free of any problem with them. However, if on an emotional level or an energetic level, you still harbor some sort of hurt feelings about it, then that's what we need to pay attention to. So a very quick little exercise you can do right now is think about one of your breakups. In fact, think to yourself, how many significant breakups have you had? And just allow yourself to think about that. If you have a pencil and paper, you could jot their names down. And then just let one of those come up to the surface. It doesn't matter which one. And then take that one breakup, I'm doing it right along with you, and think of the worst day. Think of something that happened that all of the pain kind of culminated. And allow yourself to think of how you felt on that day. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how upsetting was it for you? Take a breath. Isn't it interesting how sometimes you can hold your breath when you think back to the past? Now, if in your own mind you scored maybe only a 2, it still bugs you, but not that much, then I always ask, is it fair to say that you have a high pain tolerance? And that maybe a 2 for you could be a 4 for someone else, right? If you have a little bit of a heartache from the past, it's okay. It just means something's out of whack and needs to be tuned, just like an instrument needs to be tuned in order to play its most beautiful note. So that's what this reading is about, any heartbreak in the past, and what is it that the divine wants us to know. So let's draw our tarot cards. And we have Temperance, the High Priestess, and the Eight of Cups. As I look at, and we have the King of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So it's very, very clear that what's going on as we're approaching 2022 is deep, because the major arcana, Temperance and the High Priestess, are having to do with our inner life. And honestly, they're both highly magical cards. Temperance is all about balance, and it's about balancing the inner and the outer. It's also about balancing the intellect and the emotions. And it's also about balancing light and dark. And as you can see on this card, he is holding his, oops, I suppose I should turn it this way. He's holding both the light and the dark in his hands. But look how lightly this hand, with the dark, it's not even in his palm. And what that speaks to me is that he's not trying to control the dark. He's trying to control the light. But what it speaks is that as we balance, we have to acknowledge, and we have to open up our hearts to the darker parts of our personality, the parts of us that we're not proud of. There's nothing wrong with that. Good grief, if we're going to have a soulmate, they're certainly going to know us. So this is a call, but it's not something that we do for ourselves. As we seek our own center and what it is that we know is the divine, the balance will come into place. And all of us if you're watching this, you're on that path. And so I believe that the reading itself says, keep on going towards the light, but don't ignore the shadows, right? Can't ignore the shadow. As we look here at the second card, the High Priestess, this card speaks to me. It's right under release the dark wound and let the love live, right? And the High Priestess is that deeply magical, spiritual power that can bring things deeply to the change we need on the inside. The Empress is the card of the external. She's pregnant. She's ready to have birth and have all of our manifestations come true. But with this particular card, it's calling us to manifest first on the inside. The old teachers used to say, everything's manifested twice, once on the inside and the second on the outside. So right now, being able to press in and use every tool that you know how to use. I'm going to be posting more and more of other people's material on my website, because there are some great manifesting teachers out there. And I don't need to teach that. You can learn it. What you need to know is how to make yourself as receptive to the ideas that you're learning as possible. And waking up your High Priestess energy, that divine feminine. I will post in the comments an article that has a femininity experiment, and I think you'll love it, because I think if we wake up our divine feminine, we're well on the way. And then as I look here at the Eight of Cups and I look at her walking away, what is it that you need to walk away from, right? What is it? And I would say that what is already with you. So right now, what is already with you is that little tinge of pain and heartbreak that came up when I asked about a past breakup. So being able to open your hands and open your heart and release this past pain. And you have tools. I can give you resources. I'm happy to work with you if that's something you'd like, one-on-one, to be able to get rid of some of the blocks. I can explain how to do that. But you really don't need a person. You don't need a human if you have good tools to use. Look there's no human on this card. There's just hands. You have hands. You have tools right there. You know what to do. You just have to use them. And whatever it is that you're being called to let go of, I have a feeling there's a past heartache. It's still hot. There's something in your past definitely holding you up, because fear can be a huge motivator to stay single. Okay? So, now let me go back over here to this. We have the wonderful King of Wands at the bottom of the deck. And I love the King of Wands because what it signifies is the total mastery of this particular suit, which is the suit of power. And so when I think about that, it's the outcome of what we're going for here is to develop ourselves through the suits, all the way through those wands, from the ace where things are born, through the six of yes, you're getting there, all the way to the queen and the king that show us that we have the power to truly manifest our heart's desire. And when I look what comes next, it's this page of cups. And I love in the particular art, this is so supportive. We need to continue to release the things when pigs will fly. You know, what was it we were hoping would come true that didn't? Whatever. We made mistakes. We got to release it. And then here comes from the side, there you can barely see this little whisper of new love coming. So as we go forward, we look at the last card I'm going to show us tonight. I can't even believe it's so beautiful. Ace of Cups, that fresh start. So I believe tonight for this second practice reading that I'm doing, that the divine would want us to know that it is time for a fresh start. There is no reason for you to hesitate. If you truly want to attract something into your life that you don't have right now, you need to look at what you are manifesting right now. If you're an expert at manifesting singleness, you need to do something about that. And I'm happy to guide you with these readings. So thank you for paying attention. Thank you for watching all the way till the end. And if you have any suggestions or things you'd like to see as I explore this new channel, I appreciate it. And again, be sure to hit the like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Go forth and prosper in love and light. We'll talk to you soon. Namaste.